Bonjour et bienvenue. Today in this video we are going to learn les salutations et introduction, which means the greeting and introduction in French. Bonjour et bienvenue, which means hello and welcome. Now I will introduce myself by saying these lines. Je m'appelle Poonam. J'habite en Inde. Je parle hindi, anglais et français. Je suis indienne. Je viens de Inde. Okay, so I will start with Je m'appelle Poonam, which means my name is Poonam, or we can also say this as I call myself Poonam. I can also say this as Je suis Poonam, which means I am Poonam. J'habite en Inde, which means I live in India. Je parle hindi, anglais et français. Now you can mention the name of the language which you speak. Je parle hindi, anglais et français, which means I speak Hindi, English and French. Next is Je suis indienne, which means I am Indian, or Je viens de Inde, which means I come from India. Now we will learn how to greet somebody in different types of the day. Bonjour, which means good morning. Bon après-midi, which means good afternoon. Bonsoir, which means good evening. Bonne nuit, which means good night. Now we have learned how to ask how are you and how to give its replies. So, ¿Cómo ça va? Which means how are you? Now various replies can be Ça va, which means fine or good. Ça va mal, which means I am bad, or I am not fine, or I am not good. Ça va bien, which means I am good or I am fine. Comme si comme ça, which means neither good nor bad. Pas mal, which means not bad. Now these words are informal way of asking or saying how are you and its replies. Informal means what? Informal means when you ask or you reply to your friends or relatives whom you know personally. Now what about the people whom you do not know personally or whom you have a formal relationship? You ask them by Comment allez-vous? The reply of this would be Je vais bien, merci, which means I am fine, thank you. If you want to ask the person how is he or she, then you can ask Et toi or Et vous. The meaning of both of them is and you. But et toi, it is informal way of saying. For example, if I say Comment ça va, the other person reply Ça va bien, merci, et toi, which means I am good, thank you, and you. In formal way, how do we say that? Comment allez-vous? The other person reply Je vais bien, merci, et vous, which means I'm fine, thank you, and you. Now we learn how to say goodbye. Au revoir, which means goodbye. A bientôt, which means see you soon. A demain, which means see you tomorrow. A tout à l'heure, which means see you very soon. Now we will learn certain other expressions. The first one is merci beaucoup, which means thank you very much. Excusez-moi, which means excuse me. Pardon, which means pardon. Now if you didn't hear what the other person said, then you use pardon. Next is oui, which means yes. Next is no, which means no, as we say it in English but written as non, no. Next is félicitations, which means congratulations. Next is je suis désolé, which means I'm sorry. Now here I have written E in bracket. Why? Because if the person who is male is saying this line as Je suis désolé, he will not writing this E. But if I am saying this line, then I will write this E.